Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Firstclicks, and obviously we're here for some tech and chill and an update on the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro that I got last Friday. We made a video on the first impressions that we had on this iPad. You can check that out if you want to, but in the beginning of this video I showed you a little bit of a video that LG uses for their LG TVs to show off the OLED power that they bring in to that device. And obviously it was really interesting to see that on this display it's absolutely tremendous. That video is so awesome to see on this display. I would say though, the reflection is stuff that, I don't know, I try to show you as much as I can. I don't like how much this display reflects light that comes from different sources, but anyways, it's what it is, right? You can't do anything about it. I want to talk to you guys what I have done with this iPad for about 4 days now, because for me, it's absolutely speeding up every single project that I have done on any iPad. But is that enough? Let's just click straight into this one. So in the past 4 days, I have been using this iPad to the flippin' max. I've been gaming on it, I've been streaming games on it, I've been streaming videos on it, I've been creating videos on it. Like every single thing that I feel like I should be doing on this iPad, I have done. Is it something that is really changing my life at the moment? I would say no. For example, iMovie. iMovie is freaking awesome. If you ask me, iMovie on the Mac is a perfect app for every single content creator in the world, especially if you are still growing your channel. Maybe for someone like MKBHD, it wouldn't be advanced enough, but for those people there's obviously Final Cut Pro. But iMovie on the Mac is absolutely perfect. I just wish that the iMovie app on the iPad would actually detect that I have a Magic Keyboard attached to the iPad, and it will give me a little bit more options and just change the main input from touch to obviously the trackpad and the keyboard. It doesn't really detect anything and it doesn't really do much with it. Obviously you can use the trackpad and obviously you can use a bunch of keyboard combinations that you can also use on the iMac, but for me I would say this app should definitely get an update, maybe on WWDC, but more on that on the end of the video. Anyways, I was using it and it worked fine, but it's not anything that I couldn't do on the previous iPad, right? I had an iPad from 2018. I don't know how long you have been following this channel, but that was the iPad with the A12X Bionic, right? Not even the A12Z. And at the moment, I don't notice too much of a difference, right? Obviously rendering is going faster and there is way less lag, but it's just, if that is everything, I wouldn't recommend you buying this at the moment. Obviously there is more, right? Especially if you jump to LumaFusion or other editing apps where you have multiple lines of a video going instead of just two, it just rushes through it and then you see more of the value coming in from that M1 chip. Obviously with gaming it's the exact same way. You need a really good game to get even close to the limits of this M1. For example, these MMOs like Black Desert Online or even the RPGs like Genshin Impact. It's really great stuff and this iPad just nails it. Amazing. Now, obviously I also used GeForce Now, which is more like a streaming app, right? So you're not really using the M1 anymore. But this display, ladies and gentlemen, especially when you are in a more darker environment or there is not a lot of light shining on the display, oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, this is so amazing. Now, obviously, outside, you will have these reflections, but this screen can get so bright that you will still be able to read and see everything. But at this moment, I don't really work much outside anyways. But man, that technology that they have on the Pro XDR display, and I feel like the latest iMac, Intel iMac that they had as well, I hope it comes to the iPad someday, because this reflection is it's a problem for me, at least. Maybe it's not a problem for you. I would say it's a slight problem for me. Anyways, apart from gaming and content creation, you obviously have productivity apps, and I would say there's not much of a difference there. Is that something that's going to give you ROI? Is it return on investment for you to have an extra hour, to save an extra hour on a project? I don't know. It depends on what you can do in that extra hour, right? If it saves you that hour and you do have clients that are going to pay you for that hour, let's say 100 euros an hour, and let's say 7 days a week, well, 365 times 100, ladies and gentlemen, you got yourself a jackpot if this device can do that for you. And I feel like that's going to be the main focus of any purchase, right? You need to be able to get that money back out of it, and hopefully even 10 times as much as soon as possible, right? Now, there are some things that I would say are not problematic, but are smaller things that I would say Apple should definitely take care of. And that, I hope, is going to happen at WWDC this year. We obviously are going to get iPadOS 15. And that is obviously an update that is going to be so important for this M1 iPad. Because what this iPad needs, and probably you've heard this 100 times, is pro level apps. Final Cut Pro, an actual video editor. That's not LumaFusion. Like, with all due respect to LumaFusion, it's not Final Cut Pro, and I really need Final Cut Pro. Or at least iMovie in a more Mac level when it detects the Magic Keyboard, right? This is stuff that is really important, and I would say every YouTuber and every content creator would agree with me. And we can all see that this device right now is way overpowered. Like, most of the stuff that I'm doing right now on this iPad is stuff that I already could do on the iPad 2018. And this has been going on for a while now, right? Obviously it's faster and the workflow is faster, saving time, getting more money. I understand that philosophy and the stuff that I really believe in, but the iPad needs to evolve into something else, and more like a computer. Like, obviously it is already a computer, but you know what I mean. It needs to understand more in what sort of environment it is, what is attached to it, and how to behave when something is attached to it. I believe iPadOS 15 is going to do that. I would definitely suggest waiting if you can. If it's broken and you need a new one, obviously it's a no-brainer again. But if it's just fine, like mine was, I would suggest waiting until we see what iPadOS 15 is going to bring to this iPad, because it's such a make or break moment for Apple to show that this device is going to evolve into something bigger than just a bigger iPhone. And obviously it did with the first iPadOS, right? But it's not there yet. It needs a little bit more, and it needs to get rid of this main touch input for certain apps, especially when you attach the Magic Keyboard to it. If you spend 400 euros on a Magic Keyboard, I would suggest that the software is going to change with that as well, as soon as you attach it to the iPad. But again, never buy a product just on the promise of it being better in a few days. So I would suggest waiting if you can for WWDC. But yes, my current workflow has sped up a lot, and I do save time, and yes, I'm already making more money on this iPad because I can spend less time waiting for the render to end or waiting for the videos to load in. So this is stuff that's already helping me, especially on the go. And if that is enough for you, then I would buy it straight away. But if you can wait, that will be my main suggestion for you to do right now. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. I wish you guys the best of luck with deciding what device is going to be best for you. And I will be there. I will be there to test Final Cut Pro on the iPad. And I'm going to keep you posted on all the betas and all the speed boosts and everything that's going to change. So if you like that, if you want to see more, definitely leave a comment right now, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because we are going to rock this iPad to its core.